Hello, and welcome to Will's Infinite Library. I'm Will, and this is my Infinite Library. Today, I wanted to make a video where I talk about kind of the diversity of the queer community, because a lot of times it can get kind of siloed, which makes me really sad, and I think its strength is that when you start looking at identities, we have a lot more in common than we do different. And when we stand together, we are louder than we can be on our own. I want to make a quick video where I go through the queer alphabet and make some book recommendations for each letter. There are a lot of different acronyms, and I just want to throw out as many books as I can. First up, I will start from the Canadian perspective with Two-Spirit. For Two-Spirit, I would recommend Jonny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. This is an amazing book about the Two-Spirit experience in Canada, and it's gotten a lot of buzz in Canada, but I don't know if people are reading it as widely in the world as they should be. So take notice, look this book up, check it out, read it, love it. Next up is L for lesbian. For this letter, I have chosen Fun Home by Alison Bechdel, which is an incredible kind of comic story about her experience growing up and kind of coming into her own, figuring out who she is. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story. Next up is G for gay. I chose Less by Andrew Sean Greer. This book I recently read. You can link back to my video, check it out, and find out why it kind of challenged me in a lot of ways, but ultimately I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed that it challenged me. I like that. Next up is B for bisexual. For that, I chose Trailer Park Trickster by David R. Slayton. One of the main characters in the alternating perspectives in this book is Vic, who is bisexual and is a really well-written, awesome, interesting character. So highly recommend this book. Next up is T for transgender. For this, I chose A Dream of a Woman by Casey Plett. A beautiful book I also talked about in a recent video, which I'll link back to here. Actually, most of these books I have talked about and will link back to as well. It's a short story collection that offers a lot of great perspectives of different types of characters, different types of journey, different types of identity, and how people kind of come into their own. And I'm going to cheat a little bit on some of these and say they classify as multiple categories, multiple letters, as most of these books do. It include multiple letters from the queer alphabet. For Q, I chose The Melting Queen by Bruce Cinnamon because I think Q is often used to mean questioning, and I think this is something that is a tricky thing, and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. I don't want to put words in this author's mouth or the character's mouth or anything, but for me, it made me reflect on my own sexuality and gender identity. And I think this is a place I've been in a lot over the years, is trying to figure out who I am, what is my identity. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And The Melting Queen was really powerful in giving me that experience. So I'm going to bring that back on me and not put any words in anyone else's mouth. Then for A, I am going to choose Unburied Fables, which is a little bit of a shameless plug too, because I have a story in it, which is a G story. But the collection itself is published by Creative Aces Publishing, who publishes asexual literature and other kinds of queer stories as well. So the book isn't exclusively about asexual characters, but there are many in it who are protagonists and or other characters in the stories. So that is a great example of that, and the larger community as well brought together in this collection. As I said earlier, I think diversity is the key here. And again, identity is a personal thing. So I don't think it's up to me or anyone else to tell the authors of these books what letter they identify with, or to tell anyone that, or to put anyone else in these categories. These are identity, they are personal, they are up to you to define yourself. This is just kind of a fun exercise for me to share a bunch of different perspectives with you of the larger community as a whole, so we don't forget that we are all together, we're all unique, and in this uniqueness we have more in common than we do that differentiates us. Let's stand together. And again, here's my stack. I will link to these books in the previous videos where I've talked about many of these. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say is that the plus is often used in the acronym, and plus because we are diverse and we don't all fit a letter or one specific letter, and there are many identities out there. And I think the key of inclusion is representing everyone, bringing everyone to the same table and standing strong together. So I think there are plus characters in a lot of these books, people represented outside of these specific letters that are just meant to kind of capture some of the groups represented in this umbrella. And I think that's really important. So don't forget that plus, don't forget any of the letters, don't forget that a person is more than a letter, and that is up to each individual person to define what their identity is, and that can change over time, and that is perfectly fine as well. So those are some of my recommendations, some books that came to mind when I thought about really representing the community from a larger perspective and not just focusing on gay books or bisexual books or transgender books, but bringing everyone together, because I think we are stronger together. And I would love to hear your recommendations. I know there are way more books out there that I mentioned today. I just wanted to show how diverse this community is. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what books you would recommend and your thoughts on any of these books. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe and let me know down in the comments what you thought. But thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.